Welcome back, everybody. Welcome into SportsLine tonight. I'm Hope Hines, George Plaster, and Kevin Ingram here. We're talking about the late, great Mark Howard, and I'm loving this show so well. I think I'll just stay. I may just stay here. I don't know. I may not leave.
Come out of retirement?
Yeah, come out of retirement.
Do you still have a locker here?
Yeah, I do somewhere. I'll find one. All right, so we're doing 104.4, 104.5. And it's about 6:15 in the morning. You're Mark Howard, and I'm Kevin Ingram, and I'm going to say something to you like, well, Mark, you know, I mean, like everybody else out there, you know, we're watching what the NCAA is going to do. Are we going to have a 12-game playoff, or what's the deal going to be? Your thoughts on that, Mark?
No. Here's one of my favorite ones. You know, we tease him about what he would wear. You know, because he
I want to know what your favorid attire was and when he would come in.
You know, he wears hoodies, and
he was Bill Belichick.
Right, he was Bill Belichick, maybe before Bill Belichick.
Worse than Belichick.
Yeah, he was Belichick with sleeves.
Yeah.
But we tease him about it, and he was like, well, we're not going to prom.
That was it. You're right.
But he was, I mean, he could be so gruff sometimes, and he would make people mad every now and then. There was something about soccer moms or something he said.
I remember that.
Yes. We were teasing him, like, we got a couple minivans out in the parking lot waiting for you, Mark, when you get done with the show. But yeah, it was great. You could get him going without a whole lot of prodding, as you guys know.
Yep.
Patience was not his greatest virtue.
Oh, no. And he didn't make any bones about that either. For nobody. He didn't care. If you liked him, you liked him. If you didn't, you didn't. He didn't care. He was going to do it the way he wanted to do it. He was that guy that did it my way.
I think he cared maybe a little more than he let on.
Well,
at
he
times,
probably did, but you know, he took criticism pretty well.
He did.
It just rolled off his back. He had that kind of personality, unlike the rest of us.
No kidding.
We go, what did you say that for?
The one thing I did learn from Mark, I'm glad you said that, Hope, because I learned about not being afraid to ask the tough question, and I probably didn't learn that well enough. But he was never afraid to ask the question.
No,
he wasn't afraid of the guest or what they might say, and that was a lesson I learned from him, among other things. Throughout the course of the time I worked.
Well, we all know, right, George? If you're going to last in this business, you got to ask I've always thought about it this way: just ask the question that these kind folks sitting out there watching us tonight would like to know about the subject you're talking about.
Exactly.
That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
Just think for them, and then ask the question. And if it's controversial, dive right in, because they're going to get on your case out there. You know that.
The biggest mistake I ever made with Mark, I invited him in 1991. The Braves are going from worst to first.
They did.
And I invite him. He and I and Joe Biddle go on a trip. And it's gone well. Saturday, the Braves won. Sunday, the Braves are winning. We're now driving home, and he decides, sitting in the back seat, to just spout out the Yankee farm system. And I'm like, I don't want to hear this. And finally, we got to about Chattanooga, and I just told him to shut the hell up. I didn't want to hear any more of it. I don't care.
Now you hurt his feelings.
Oh,
now you
absolutely,
hurt his feelings.
You know, I mean, the guy was a day one subscriber to the Yes Network. I mean, every time I watch right now, I've got the extra innings package. I know you do too. Anytime I watch the Yankees right now, it's a weird feeling. It always comes back to Mark's not around to see this.
Exactly. No, he's not.
Same for me. It hadn't really occurred to me how much I talked to Mark and corresponded with him until the last few weeks. And same as just what George said. I watch a Yankee game, and it's strange because I'd text him something about the game, or if I saw something funny happen, I'd send him some goofy text about it, or we'd call. We probably talked at least once a week or so, even after we didn't work together. Like that part never. It didn't occur to me like how much he was still such a big part of my life.
Phone calls with Mark were never 6 minutes.
No.
An hour and 6.
Yeah, exactly.
But not 6.
I was privileged, along with Brian McKeegan and Bob Cusack, who's our longtime sports photographer, to go to lunch with Mark just several weeks before he passed away, and that was just really a godsend, I thought. And I didn't think about it. Of course, you never do. Walking away, and the last time you saw him, I remember exactly how he walked. He always walked the same way, and that little hunch about him, and he just moved, easily like that. But I think about what he had on, same stuff, you know, hoodie and the whole deal.
Belichick model.
Exactly. And but man, when it happened and when I found out he had passed, it was like, oh my goodness. We're just sitting there, and so many things roll through your mind that you should have said or could have said, and now you want to say, and you can't. So it's all gone. It's all over. So, but he leaves a giant shadow. There's no question about that. And I think a very good shadow for others to come into this town, either past you guys and me and everybody else who comes in to continue the legacy of Nashville sports. Don't you guys think so?
Yep. It was easy to grow up here and realize Southern hospitality had to be a part of it. Mark had to kind of learn that.
Oh, he did.
And as time went on, you saw more and more of his heart, and you saw it in our business with the compliments you talked about, that he was not afraid to tell a competitor, I watched your stuff last night. It was really good. I watched him do it several times.
And for you young people out there who want to be in this business, be it print, well, I don't think there's much print left. But,
Get out before you get in.
Yeah, get out before you get in. But if you want to be in television, radio, one of the things that you need to learn how to do and to acquire a real taste and a love for is research. You got to research, you got to read, you got to study, you got to keep up, you got to watch as much as you can. Maybe not quite as much as Mark did. No. He kind of went over the top with it. But that's how you do in this business. It's like anything else that you may be involved in, whether it's being a doctor, a lawyer, Indian chief, an engineer, salesman, whatever it is. You got to study your profession, watch what other people are doing, how they're doing it, what's the newest thing, and what pleases people. And that's all you got to do.
But if you get in this, don't call me 4 times a day to tell me what you've read.
Yeah, exactly. Just spew it out, and you don't have to know.
Yeah, exactly.
But the thing about Mark too is all the way to the end, even after he wasn't on a show anymore, he still had scoop. He still knew what was going on because he understood the value of picking up the phone and making a call.
He would call me sometimes. Hey, did you hear what happened to so and so and so and so? I'd say, no, Mark, no, what? And boy, he was on. So it was like he was on radio again. He started talking. Just whatever it was. It might not have been that big a deal, but it was somebody in our business that had done this, or whatever. And he was so glad to call me up, hoping that I didn't know. And I didn't bust his bubble, you know, when he called. Whether I knew it or not, I'd say, no, Mark, I don't know. What is it? Just to get his side of it. So, anyway. Okay, lasting thought about Mark Howard.
Very decent human being. I used to think I could stack up with just about anybody in love of sports and sports knowledge. I'm not getting anywhere close to him. No way.
Yeah, same thing for me. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I think he's done.
Yeah, same thing for me. The sports knowledge part of it was amazing. He was a fantastic broadcaster. There's no question about it. His talent doing the sportscast on here for years, just his creativity and writing and the way he can make it entertaining, even if it was something that wasn't necessarily a big story.
He was a brilliant writer. Quips and funny.
Yeah.
Just oozed out of him.
And that would
effortlessly, and it just made me so mad.
And that would come over to the radio.
Yeah,
because every now and then there'd be something that's like, oh man, that's Mark from TV right
exactly.
there.
In a different world, he could have been a Sports Center star.
Oh, he could have been. Yeah,
and
could have been.
You know,
but he would have had to do some other things to take care of himself, and that's not something that he was good at.
But I also learned about friendship from Mark. Above all, he was a really good friend. If something big happened in your life, he was going to show up, or he was going to call you. My father passed away. He drives an hour and a half to Kentucky after the show to be there for the funeral. Showed up when I got married, or whatever happened. He was always there for you.
I think there'll be a big turnout on Thursday at Congregation Mike on Old Hickory Boulevard for Mark Howard. At least I hope there are, and you can come and pay your respects for a truly great broadcaster and friend. And brother, shall we say, of all of ours. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Your time is up.
Hope, thank you for including
George,
us.
Thank you for being here. And Kevin, thank you for being here. Larry Brenton Jr. is coming on, and Jack Sells, 2 of his great friends. We'll be back, everybody, right after this.